All right, folks, today we're going to take a look at how we are going to be putting together our textual evidence organizers. So this is going to be a little example of what you'll be doing for your body paragraphs as we're getting ready to dive into the meat of writing these research essays. So let's imagine that our research question was, should people be allowed to keep exotic pets? And let's say that our thesis statement is that despite the temptations, people should not be allowed to keep exotic animals as pets, as it is unhealthy for the animal, dangerous for the owner, and community. So let's take a look here. So one, we have a counter argument at the beginning, despite the temptations. That's good. And then we have the answer to our question. They should not be allowed to keep exotic animals as their pets. And then we have some reasons, as it is unhealthy for the animal, and dangerous for the owner, and dangerous for the community. So we have some good, solid reasons there. Now, support number one. Let's say that being held in captivity is not healthy for exotic animals, right? That is our first reason that we are going to be saying that people should not have exotic animals as pets. So, for our paragraph, let's say that I have found this quote here. The quote says, "The SPCA cautions that exotic animals kept in captivity are in danger of suffering both psychological and physiological distress, unable to express normal behaviors, such as acquiring a mate or hunting. This may lead to serious illness and zoochosis, the development of abnormal and often self-mutilating behaviors in animals in captivity." Citation Favreau 8. Now, when I am going to be incorporating a quote into my essay, I'm going to be paraphrasing it and doing a bit of direct quotation as well. So maybe a way that I would do that is say, according to the SPCA, exotic pets can suffer from, quote, psychological and physiological distress because they are not able to express innate behaviors which may lead to, quote, zoochosis, the development of abnormal and often self-mutilating behaviors in animals in captivity. Favreau 8. Now, here's what we're really going to be doing here is we are going to be filling out a chart that's going to kind of help us keep track of the different quotes and paraphrases and stuff that we're going to be working into our essay. So you see here on the left, you have a column where it asks you what type of evidence is this. You're going to be saying it's either a paraphrase, a summary, or a direct quote. Now in this case, we're doing a little bit of both. And then we're going to put in either our direct quote, our summary, or our paraphrase. Now, you should have already watched the video and the differences between summaries and paraphrases, and you already know what a direct quote is. So again, we have our paraphrasing there. Now, this paraphrasing does a couple things right. One, it introduces the quote nicely, so we start off with our own words as opposed to the quote itself. That makes it feel more organic, more natural to our writing. We introduce the quote. We quote psychological and physiological distress. That's a really important point from the evidence that we're pulling from. And then we go back to some paraphrasing before we get to the definition of zoochosis. Now, zoochosis, that is a word that your average reader is not going to know, so it would make sense that we're going to directly quote the text that we are pulling from to define zoochosis, right? And then, of course, we end with our citation. So whether you are paraphrasing or direct quoting or summarizing, whatever it is, you're going to put this into the second column here, along with your citation. At the end, you see it says Favreau 8. Now, one thing that's really important to notice is that the punctuation comes after the citation. Your citation is part of your sentence. So the punctuation when you are quoting something goes after the citation, not inside of the quote itself. And then, this is really, really important, the third column. You're going to explain how this evidence proves your point. So again, our point was that people should not keep exotic animals because, reason one, it can be poor for the animal's health. Our explanation then of this evidence. Animals depend on their instincts to survive, and when they are placed in a setting where they are unable to utilize those instincts, they can become mentally and physically ill. Zoochosis poses a very serious threat in an exotic animal's physical well-being, as it can cause animals to harm themselves, right? So that's explaining why does this evidence prove our point? Why is this a good piece of evidence for us to use for whatever point it is that we are trying to make? Now, if you look at the worksheet that you'll be filling out for this, you're going to see that there are 4 of these charts here. Now, that is assuming that your thesis statement has at least 4 pieces of evidence. Some of you may have only done 3 reasons for your thesis statement, and that's okay. That was the minimum. right? Because the chair has to have at least 3 legs, but we're looking for it to, really have 4. So you're going to fill out something for every one of those pieces of evidence. So reason 1, reason 2, reason 3, reason 4, finding a quote or summary or a paraphrase or whatever it is that you're going to be doing with your sources, and then explaining why this helps. And then you kind of have an outline of your essay, at least the body paragraphs of your essay. And that's good. That's going to make the writing process a whole lot easier. So you are going to work on this assignment. This is going to be your next graded thing for this research essay unit. So if you have any questions, obviously reach out, but otherwise, get to it.